Good morning, welcome to CATEX TV. My name is Frank Fortunato. Today is Thursday, June 5th, 2014. Tomorrow is the anniversary of D-Day, June 6th in Normandy, and Western world leaders as well as President Putin of Russia are expected to assemble there. We'll be following that tomorrow because by the time we come on, the event will already have occurred in France. Meanwhile, in New York City, nearly 2 years after Hurricane Sandy tore through the area, the city was still not much more prepared than it was then. This week, the federal government began to change that. The Housing and Urban Development Secretary, Sean Donovan, came into New York and doled out over $500 million for construction projects. The big winner in the announcement is something called the Big U, which was designed by a Dutch firm. The Dutch, of course, have particular expertise in keeping out water. And this system is a massive barrier of dikes, berms, and other types of barriers around Manhattan. HUD awarded the group $535 million to build the first stretch of the 8-mile-long ring. The ring is going to include a 16-foot-high section that's going to protect the fragile Lower East Side from storm surges with a tall grass escarpment. HUD also awarded a $60 million award to rebuild an underwater stone shelf and oyster reefs that will protect the South Shore of Staten Island, which was also very hard hit. This is going to create so-called micro pockets of finfish, lobsters, and shellfish that will serve as a living breakwater and reduce wave action and lower risk from heavy storms. Also, there's going to be a $20 million feasibility study conducted on Hunts Point in the Bronx, which is a peninsula that juts out into the East River. It's also the source of the city's food supply as it comes in there by truck and by ship. Lloyd's managing agent Sportscover has apparently been told by Lloyd's that it does not, repeat not, need any fresh funds in order for its syndicate to, quote, come into line at the end of June. Coming into line is a term used at Lloyd's for ensuring that sufficient regulatory capital in the form of funds on deposit at Lloyd's are in place to support underwriting commitments, and it occurs at mid-year and at year-end. According to the Insurance Insider, an email from Lloyd's to Sportscover CEO Matthew Riley said, quote, further to our telephone conversation today, I confirm no new funds are required for the coming in line exercise in June. Market sources have been suggesting that Sportscover would require an urgent capital injection in order to meet the June coming into line. They posted a calendar year loss of £6.5 million on net earned premium for 2013. The European ratings agency Perils has once again raised its loss estimate for windstorm Xavier, this time by 32 million euros. It's now up to about $1.03 billion. This is the third loss estimate for the storm, which hit parts of Western Europe from December 5th and 6th of last year. Xavier was one of a cluster of violent windstorms that swept through Europe in the last quarter of 2013. However, the most expensive European storm on record remains Lothar in 1999, which came in with a bill of over $6 billion US. 3 Royal Canadian Mounted Police were shot dead and 2 others injured in a rare case of gun violence in Moncton, Canada. Authorities are searching for a man, a 24-year-old man. They have his name. This is a very rare event for Canada where gun control laws are very strict. Moncton is a community of 70,000 people in New Brunswick and a critical hub on the northeastern air corridor. There's a big air traffic control center there. A major north-south highway from Wilmington, Delaware, connecting the Philadelphia suburbs to Baltimore and points south has been indefinitely shut down because of a tilting bridge that could have fallen 50 feet under a full traffic load. According to the state transportation commissioner, this sort of thing is sort of a Defcon 5 for a transportation system situation. It's a really serious problem. 4 out of 37 pairs of concrete columns support a nearly mile-long bridge over land and a river. Like the leaning columns of Pisa, the Tower of Pisa, the columns have now shifted and are tilting as much as 4%. The bridge was closed Monday night after an inspection earlier in the day confirmed the misalignment. That inspection was prompted on Friday by a complaint from a crew working nearby on another project who apparently noticed that the highway was tilting. The authorities then went out and realized the severity of the situation and closed that part of I-495, which is a loop around Delaware. It's going to cause impact on about 90,000 vehicles a day that use it. It's already been picked up by Google Maps, which has already erased the stretch, and crews are now digging into the earth near the bridge to figure out why the columns are tilting. A military Harrier jet, the kind that takes off and lands vertically, owned by the United States Marines, crashed into a Southern California neighborhood yesterday, blew up about 3 houses. Unbelievably, nobody was killed, including nobody in the homes or even the pilot, who parachuted and landed in a nearby field. This happened in the town of Imperial in Southern California. Saudi Arabia has been struggling with Middle East Respiratory Syndrome, or MERS. It's now going to check out a long-suspected link between camels and human cases of the deadly virus. They're going to begin to monitor and check camels in the kingdom, including camels that are privately owned or the thousands of camels that roam wild in the desert. All of this has not impacted the Saudi main camel market in Riyadh. Traders, breeders, and handlers said that they were unaware today of any sort of new testing program in place. Meanwhile, if you've ever wondered how strong a cyclone or a tornado's winds really are, listen to this. In Willis, Kansas, crews are using heavy equipment to move 52 empty coal cars away from tracks after they were derailed by high winds. Union Pacific said that no one was injured when the cars were toppled around 12:05 a.m. Wednesday in the Brown County community of Willis, Kansas. A 134-car coal train was bound from Wyoming to Arkansas when it was stopped because of the extreme weather. 52 cars were simply pushed by the wind onto their sides. That's a pretty strong wind. That's the news for today. If we have any breaking news, we'll come back and tell you. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you tomorrow.